everybody, it's Rachel from the Herbalist Garden. How are you today? Today we're going to talk about rosemary. I would really like if you would like and subscribe so that our content can reach more people and we can all learn together. That's where my heart is right now, so we can all learn together. But as I said, we're going to talk about rosemary, and I found a lot of information about rosemary. Things that I didn't know, things that I did know, and it's a cool little plant. I know that we use it in our shampoo that we make, and I know lots of people like rosemary chicken. That's a thing. So let's dig right deep into it. I've got it all written out so that I have it organized, and let's dive right in. So rosemary. Rosemary plant is one of the most popular medicinal plants in the world, as well as a healing herb with a very long history of use in places including Italy and Greece, dating as far back as 500 BC. In Ayurveda, it is a kapha vata pacifying, but it aggravates the pitta constitution. And according to this practice, it's also considered an anthelmintic. And I put that separate from all my other things, and I mention it specifically because I didn't know. And if you guys remember from the echinacea deep dive, we talked about how that was an anthelmintic. So basically, it's trying to say that it clears out parasites. That would be fantastic. I did not find that information anywhere else, but according to Ayurveda practices, rosemary is an anthelmintic. So, according to an article published in Nutrition Today, the genus name Rosmarinus is derived from the Latin dew of the sea, and has traditionally been associated with remembrance, love, and fidelity. For centuries, this plant has been an ingredient in folk medicines with associated claims for relief of such diverse symptoms and conditions as dysmenorrhea, I think I pronounced that correctly, mental decline, epilepsy, pain relief, and infertility. So, it's very diverse. So, being that it could be an anthelmintic, it could be. We don't know for sure. So, recent research has shown that whether consumed as an essential oil, tea, or seasoning, rosemary benefits can include promoting digestive health, mental clarity, hair and skin health, relaxation, and more. So as I said, we use it in our shampoo. We make it a rosemary oil, and we put it in our shampoo. And let me just say, I do need to take care of my hair today, but yeah. It's a day I work from home, and I get to be comfy. So sometimes I'll be cutesy for you, but not right now. So, it is very useful in so many ways. We will find out more. It's most often used for culinary purposes, including adding earthiness and other flavors to recipes. Additionally, it has many therapeutic and household uses, including making herbal teas, candles, perfumes, hair care products, and more. The herb has a strong smell and taste, and it is also packed with antioxidants, volatile oils, and other protective phytochemical compounds. Rosemary's taste is described as warm and somewhat bitter. I would agree with that one. It's in the same plant family as mint, which is the Lamaceae family, which consists of 7,000 or more species, but it doesn't have the same distinct menthol flavor. So, if you haven't tried rosemary, which I can't imagine you haven't, it does not have a mint flavor at all. So there's no shortage of rosemary splendor and acclaim in all of history, folklore, and literature. Touted as an herb of fidelity in Elizabethan times, and adorning the braids and necks of students looking to boost their memory during exams in ancient Greece, rosemary has been more than just a culinary herb. Yes, that is true. Legend has it that it was Rosemary that helped draw Sleeping Beauty out of her infamous slumber. Moreover, dusting a bit of this herb around the house was thought to bring prosperity and protection to your place, to your living place. In one of his most acclaimed literary works, Shakespeare once proclaimed, "There's rosemary, that's for remembrance. Pray, love, and remember," indicating that even the bard was in on Rosemary's magical benefits. Long after Shakespeare's time, various studies have also confirmed many health benefits of rosemary, whether it is used fresh, dried, or in oil form. So, we're going to talk about growing, because I would say in certain climates, rosemary is extremely easy to grow. In other climates, certain soils, it is not as easy to grow. They say you can overwinter it and it'll come back, and sometimes it doesn't. They say you can bring it in the winter and keep it going all winter long inside, and yet it'll still die off. I have not had like the best luck with rosemary. I do have some that did come back this past year, but it didn't come back like great. It just came back a little bit. So I did collect some, but I left most of it so that it could hopefully, come back again next year, and I'll feed it some. So the plant requires temperate climate to thrive, and can just as easily be grown in your backyard if you happen to live in a place that offers conducive climatic conditions. A lot of sunlight without excessive heat and humidity. I guess it grows really well in Canada. Or over in the Midwest, maybe? I don't know, you tell me. Let me know about down below. So you can identify rosemary by the fact that it hails from the mint family, and it flowers. I have not had rosemary flower. So other plants that are in this family is basil, marjoram, oregano, and the like. It bears an uncanny resemblance to lavender and possesses flat pine needle-shaped leaves. And they are deep green in color, although I have seen lighter varieties. So they're deep green in color on the top with a touch of silver on the underside. So that's maybe what I'm seeing. The plant is also embellished with pink, purple, white, or blue flowers. As I said, I have not seen a rosemary plant that flowers yet, in my yard anyway. It would probably require a lot more temperate area than where I live in Pennsylvania. The rosemary plant is also the source of concentrated rosemary essential oils, which is used to help relieve conditions including pain, inflammation, gastrointestinal pains, anxiety, and respiratory issues. The essential oil of rosemary has been found to contain many protective compounds, including, I couldn't get a pronunciation on this word, cineole, cineole, apenine, rosmarinic acid, which we talked about, rosemanol, carnosol, caffeic acid, carnosaic acid, I can't say the word. It's like oleanate. I'm not gonna say it. Camphor and ursolic acid and borneol. Aside from having a pleasant fragrance and taste, the herb is a good source of anti-inflammatory and antioxidant compounds, as well as essential nutrients including iron, calcium, vitamin A, C, and B6. It also, I gotta scroll down because thought I put it on here. Maybe I didn't. Ah, there we go. Let's see. So it does have protein. It does have this. So it also has thiamine, riboflavin, folate. I think we said iron, magnesium, phosphorus, zinc, and copper. So it also has some potassium in it. It's got calcium in it. It has fiber in it, carbohydrates, lipids. Yep, it's a very good for you plant for digestion, just to eat in general. It is a very good, healthy thing for you to eat. So we're going to go on to the benefits. There's quite a few. I found, I will post all the links that I found my information on below in the description, because I haven't been doing that particularly, but I'm finding that it will help you, because you'll see that my deep dives are very, if you want to read more on what I'm reading, I'm just highlighting things. I know this video gets kind of long, but I'm literally just highlighting what I'm learning. We're deep diving with the highlights. And you can look even further, because I'm not going to read you everything that's on each website, but I definitely found multiple websites, and most of them said about the same things, and then I kind of like pulled from each one the things that were different. So the health benefits, the medicinal health benefits of rosemary. It promotes metabolic health. Rosemary has been associated with metabolic benefits, including helping to treat high blood sugar and poor insulin sensitivity. While it likely won't be enough to prevent diabetes on its own, it's recommended for people who wish to improve their blood sugar levels. The extracts exert possible anti-inflammatory and anti-hyperglycemic effects, which may promote weight loss. Okay. Research shows that treatment with rosemary extract resulted in a significant weight loss and increased excretion of lipids through bowel movements. So, okay, that is the other reason that I'm going to be sharing these links that I'm finding this information on, because if you're interested in what those studies are, you can access those studies through the links that I'm going to give you, because these are legit studies that people do. According to another study, the carnosic acid rich rosemary can be used as a preventative treatment for metabolic disorders. Okay, we know that. It's antimicrobial. Within rosemary, there are compounds that can help defend against proliferation of certain types of harmful bacteria, including those that contribute to infections. Rosemary extracts are even used as food preservatives in some cases, because they can stop bacteria from growing. So I have heard of one of the preservation, or at least one of the ways that people used to preserve some of their foods way back when, is that they put a sprig of rosemary in like the jar. Like if they were raw canning, or if they didn't have a way to heat things up, they'd stick the rosemary in there. That's where the idea of rosemary potatoes came from what I read, is that they were like, "Oh, this is good." And rosemary chicken, I mean, they stuck it in with the chicken, keep bacteria from developing, and voila, they realized rosemary chicken was delicious. So it's the smell of rosemary can also act as a natural bug repellent and may prevent certain insect bites, including ticks and other bugs that can spread illnesses and viruses. Well, I wish I had known this before I got my Lyme disease. It is what it is. It relieves indigestion, whether cooked or steeped in herbal tea. It has long been a natural remedy for digestive issues, including loss of appetite, heartburn, or acid reflux, gas, bloating, and abdominal pains. It seems capable of stimulating the release of digestive fluids, including bile, which assist in digestion and can support normal nutrient absorption. Now, it's a bitter, so that is one of the reasons that it can extract the fluids, because bitters, they tend to be drying. Okay, I had somebody on my Herbalist Garden ask the question about rosemary and what was the, if it was wet or dry, or if it was, warming or cooling, and the answer was that it was warming, and I couldn't quite find exactly if it was wet or dry, but it seems like it's a drying herb. It's a nourishing herb too. But if it's going to expel fluids, it supports nutrient absorption, but it also it helps release and stimulate digestive fluids, which means that if you're releasing those, then your body becomes dry. It's still a good question. I haven't found the answer to it exclusively, but it makes me think. It stimulates hair growth. I told you we use it in our shampoo. It's usually used as a rosemary oil then, because then it can nourish your skin, at your scalp skin as you cleanse your hair. It's found in hair care products intended to promote hair growth and a healthy scalp, since it can fight against dandruff and skin irritations that cause dryness. So still, is it a moisturizing or is it a drying herb? I still can't quite figure it out. Both traditional and modern therapeutic practices have used rosemary for hair growth. So it's been used for a long time. They say it works. My hair is probably the longest it's ever been. So my daughter's hair is growing. She does rosemary oil directly on her, rosemary and castor oil. We do have a small infusion of that because castor oil is kind of expensive, so we don't make that the exclusive thing that we use. But she does do that occasionally. She'll infuse castor oil and rosemary oil and then actually scrub it onto her scalp, and it has helped her with her scalp health drastically. So conditions like alopecia, which is hair loss, that impacts 50% of males and 15% of females in the United States. Hair loss from alopecia can happen anywhere on the body, and although there are promising therapies, nothing's guaranteed, but rosemary is supposed to help with that. In a comparative trial, rosemary oil was discovered to be just as effective as a pharmaceutical therapy, minoxidil 2%. So, Rogaine, basically. It says a comparative trial. It was discovered that it was just as effective as Rogaine. So, there you go. There's a study. There was a comparable increase in hair growth and body group in both groups, but there were less scalp itching in the ones with the rosemary oil. So that's a good thing. A study involving patients with alopecia areata, I guess that's a certain kind, found that consistent daily application of an essential oil blend, including rosemary, thyme, cedarwood, and lavender mixed with a carrier oil like avocado, lavender, or olive oil. You can do castor oil, you can do jojoba. There's other ones. Was able to support significant hair regrowth. So that's fantastic. In another combination trial, rosemary, thyme, and lavender essential oils significantly improved hair growth in participants with that alopecia. Out of 20 subjects, 15 saw moderate to dense hair regrowth using the essential oil blend for 12 weeks. An animal study using rosemary leaf extract found that 2 milligrams per day increased hair regrowth in mice with testosterone-induced androgenic alopecia. So basically, they caused the alopecia in the mice, and then they treated it with the rosemary oil, the rosemary leaf extract, to find out that it actually helped them grow back. Researchers discovered that this effect happened because the extract inhibited certain hormones from binding to receptors. So, it is also a plant that lifts mood and boosts alertness. So they always say that rosemary is really good for your memory. So it's very good mood lifter. Like some other herbs in the mint family, rosemary's smell is considered a cognitive stimulant and can help make you feel more awake and focused. Some studies have also shown that compounds within rosemary oil have neuroprotective effects and the ability to improve memory and cognitive performance by preventing the breakdown of acetylcholine, a chemical in the brain that contributes to concentration and memory retention. Additionally, the uplifting and energizing aroma of rosemary has been linked to improved moods, reduce drowsiness, and reduce stress levels. Need that. Including due to its ability to decrease release of the stress hormone cortisol. Okay. It decreases cortisol. This is the reason you'll find rosemary in some candles, home sprays, aromatherapies, and oils, etc. Looks like I'm making myself a new home spray. I basically just make a tincture and put it in a spray bottle and so we've talked about, or I mentioned it was an antioxidant. It's rich supply of antioxidants and bioactive chemicals like phenolic diterpenes such as carnosol and caffeol derivatives. Consuming rosemary can help fight oxidative stress and support the immune system. It is also known to promote healthy circulation to defend against inflammation, which can lead to pain. I'm all about this plant so far. Another way that rosemary's antioxidant can be beneficial is due to the ability to promote skin health by fighting free radical damage that leads to signs of aging. Anti-aging, very good. It is also in a trial where rosemary extract was consumed by participants at risk for heart disease, subjects saw a significant decrease in oxidative stress and inflammatory markers. These antioxidants and anti-inflammatory effects are known to lower the risk of heart disease. I think I'm going to make myself a rosemary candle. I need some beeswax and some rosemary. Put a little bit of lavender in there too. Oh my gosh, smell how pretty. Because I don't do any sort of candles that you buy at the store, because any fragrance that isn't natural is an endocrine disruptor. It kind of drives me crazy that like everything that we grew up with is an endocrine disruptor. If it has the word fragrance, that's what it is in the ingredients. So it also might help with allergies. Rosemary contains a constituent known as the rosmarinic acid, which is shown to help with allergic rhinitis. That's a good thing. A research review found that rosmarinic acid can help to reduce inflammation and allergy symptoms. A clinical trial looked at the effect of rosmarinic acid in people with seasonal allergies, and the study participants were given either the rosmarinic acid or a placebo. After 3 weeks, the rosmarinic acid group reported that they experienced fewer allergy symptoms. So I know Creeping Charlie specifically helps with allergies, so maybe I'll formulate Rosemary and Creeping Charlie together. And because Creeping Charlie really doesn't have much flavor, it's just earthy, and it doesn't really smell like much. Usually just smells like the vodka tincture you're making it with, or whatever your base is. So if I put the rosemary in it, maybe it'll actually taste good and smell good. So we talked about how it enhances memory. It's an effective cognitive stimulant, helpful for improving memory and mental focus. It is even good as increasing brainwave activities and protecting against neurodegenerative conditions such as Alzheimer's disease. So, okay, that's fantastic. They're starting to call Alzheimer's disease as a diabetes 3. And we can get into it another time, and there will be people who disagree with me, and you don't have to agree with me. You can take it or leave it. But Alzheimer's often happens, and I would like to see a study done on this, but they're not ready to admit it. But I have found a specific link between the use of statins in pharmaceuticals and Alzheimer's. So, statins, like cholesterol lowering medications, those things tend to bring on an onset of Alzheimer's, and also just general health at all. So in a 2012 study published in Therapeutic Advances in Psychopharmacology, researchers found that exposure to rosemary aroma can improve cognitive performance and mood. I wonder if it will help my speech. In 2003 study published in the International Journal of Neuroscience, it also highlights the memory boosting properties of rosemary. So how you would use it as an aromatherapy is you just breathe in the aroma of a rosemary oil by adding 2 to 3 drops of the essential oil or the rosemary oil that you make to a handkerchief or a room diffuser. You can also start drinking rosemary tea made from fresh or dried leaves. To make the tea, you add 1 to 1.5 teaspoons of the herb to 1 cup of hot water. Cover, let it steep for, this says 5 minutes. I tend to like my teas a little stronger because they tend to be more medicinal for me rather than just enjoyable. I get the benefit both ways. And then you drink it. So it's 1 to 1.5 teaspoons of the herb to 1 cup of water. That's your proportions dose. So we talked about how it improves brain and neurological health. It has a certain degree of the, we did read that. It helps safeguard the nervous system by fighting off brain damage caused by free radicals in the form of oxidative stress and overstimulation of nerve cells. Rosemary has demonstrated the potential to protect certain parts of the brain from tissue damage, such as ISCHEMIC, that injury, healing nervous tissues, and averting blood clots. Yeah, the more I get into learning this stuff, there's these words that I can't pronounce. I'm usually pretty good at pronouncing things, but some of these words I'm not good at. So, one of the things that makes this a really good neuroprotective agent is the fact that there's no harmful side effects, as opposed to conventional drugs used to treat neurodegenerative diseases. It's good for the brain because of the carnosic acid. Some studies mentioned, I told you about it, it's really good for Alzheimer's. Those studies are based on a test tube and animal study results. It says also in an animal study result, it found that it significantly decreased seizures. It decreased seizure severity and onset in rats. They propose that rosemary may be beneficial for epilepsy in humans. Okay. And there's also I will post it down below, but there was a 2020 review and that says that it could be beneficial for treating and preventing cancer. Honestly, my opinion is that, and you can let me know down below if I'm wrong, and some of you I'm sure will tell me I'm wrong, even though I may not necessarily agree with you, and you don't have to agree with me, it's fine, that pretty much any medicinal plant I found is a preventative for cancer, because cancer, this is not like, this is a general statement. Maybe I'll say that. This is a general statement. But cancer is more caused by pretty much all the poisons that they're giving us. There are parts of that where there's this. I understand that. But as a general statement, the foods and pharmaceutical drugs are more likely what's causing it in us. We're not going to go there right now. That's just not what I'm going to get into right now. Yeah, because it basically says that the review and the study found that rosemary stops the activation of carcinogens and increases antioxidant enzyme activity, reduces tumor stimulating inflammation, and suppresses tumor growth. So, I mean, why wouldn't it prevent cancer? So, that they're doing more research on it, and that's a good thing to know. We're going to talk about how it facilitates blood flow right now. Given the fact that rosemary is characteristically warming and stimulating by nature, it can help enhance the movement of blood. In turn, help supply vital nutrients to all the vital organs, and boost metabolic activities in your body. It is partly because of this very ability to increase blood circulation, particularly to the head, that rosemary is recognized as a cognitive stimulant and memory enhancer. So it's all connected. One of the things that I don't believe is in here, but one of the things that it talks about is where it's good for your nerves, and good for blood flow and everything, is like if you have arthritis or if you have Raynaud's, they're saying that taking rosemary tinctures is supposed to facilitate that healing or keep it from hurting. I have not particularly tried it, and I need to. There's a lot of things I need to do that I have not done yet, but I need to check on the rosemary thing because winter is coming up over here, and let me just tell you, Raynaud's gets pretty bad. So I think I'll be testing that this winter. So it supports heart health. I mean, if it helps with blood flow, then it's going to help with your heart, right? Heart disease is an issue that some are born with, or it can develop from complications such as high blood pressure, diabetes, obesity, or poor diet. It is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. In a 2014 study involving subjects at risk for cardiovascular disease, found that meat cooked with rosemary was able to decrease oxidative stress and inflammatory markers, which are known to increase the risk of heart disease. In animal studies, rats were fed rosemary extract after undergoing a heart attack, and the extract improved the recovery rate by decreasing markers of oxidative stress and improving energy metabolism. Another animal trial involving mice and heart injuries discovered that treatment with one of rosemary's active constituents, which is the carnosic acid, in combination with the carvedilol. It's a medication that people go on for high blood pressure. Okay, so if you can use this along with your pharmaceuticals if you're taking them. There's no interaction there. But it lowered the rate of cardiotoxicity markers. The two therapies together also decrease pro-inflammatory and oxidative stress markers. Great. So it bolsters the immune system. It's a very powerful defense against different diseases and pathogens that may adversely affect your immune system. So this and the echinacea and the elderberry could be a formulation. It contains phytochemicals including the rosmarinic acid, betulinic acid, carnosol, and caffeic acid with antioxidant, anti-cancer, and anti-inflammatory properties. These compounds play an important role in neutralizing free radicals, which can cause oxidative stress and cellular damage. So cellular damage is a precursor to potential cancer. So they recommend you drink 1 to 2 cups of rosemary tea daily to keep yourself healthy and free from the common cold, coughs, and other health problems. Prevents liver damage. Okay. It's one of the most vital organs in the body, which is takes on the responsibility when it comes to detoxifying our system. It has overarching ramifications for the entire body and can lead to a complete shutdown of bodily functions if we damage our liver. What makes matters worse is the fact that the liver takes a very long time to recuperate and is one of the slowest organs to heal. Yes, by medical studies, I guess it is. Let me just put it this way. In 2020, I found out that I had a lot, like my liver enzymes were through the roof. The lady's like, what have you been doing? I'm like, nothing. She's like, do you drink all day? I'm like, no. And she goes, okay, well, I was looking at that number and that's not the number that was high. She goes, but what are you doing? I said, I don't know. And so we looked into it. We found out that at the time, I had bone spurs and stuff like that in my foot, and to be able to just walk and survive, and because I was working in retail and food service where I had to be on my feet all day, and let me just tell you, that hurt all day, every day. So I was taking like the max dose of Tylenol every day for 4 years. They wouldn't fix my foot. So that is what caused liver issues. And I stopped taking the Tylenol. I started eating healthy. I started, like specifically eating healthy, like really pumped into it. Started exercising and stuff. I got surgery on my foot and I've never had another problem. They told me that it was going to take like over a year to 2 years for all my enzymes in my liver to fix. It took 3 months. So it says that it's the slowest healing organ. I'm not so sure. Maybe I'm an anomaly. Who knows? Rosemary, however, can help in this regard, as it is linked to lowering a risk of cirrhosis and expediting liver recovery. Fantastic. Another liver protective property associated with this herb is that it reduces plasma liver enzymes, and those tend to cause type 2 diabetes. The carnosol content has been proven effective in staving off liver tissue distortion, and it's also thought to prevent depletion of liver glycogen and energy storage molecules. Drink a cup of rosemary. This one says drink a cup of rosemary tea daily. 1 to 2 a day if you are trying to heal yourself. I would not purposely drink rosemary unless it was medicinal. I really wouldn't. But you do you, boo. Maybe rosemary is your favorite flavor. Maybe. So it says it reduces inflammation and a headache. Okay. So we know that it reduces inflammation because we've read how it helps your heart health. It facilitates blood flow. It prevents cancer. Neurological health. So we already know that it reduces inflammation, but it also helps with a headache, apparently, because apparently it's an analgesic. So it says it can relieve arthritis pain, which I kind of said that because it says it's supposed to help with your hands, like the nerve pain and stuff, sciatic nerve pain, gout pain, back pain, stiff neck. Due to its antispasmodic properties, this herb helps reduce menstrual pains. Okay. I know lady's mantle. I know red raspberry leaf, but I didn't realize that rosemary is useful for that as well. So it has been long used as a headache remedy. I mean, you can use it as aromatherapy, and it's supposed to lessen a headache, kind of like lavender. So, yeah. And it can help reduce the pain of migraines. I need to tell my brother. So, if you would take the oil and you massage it into your temples and your forehead, it says if you put a few drops of your rosemary oil, I guess even dilute it more because you're putting it in, I guess they're talking about an essential oil. But I only make my stuff with carrier oils. I kind of use essential oil sometimes, but not as often. Even smelling the aroma can provide relief from headaches. Okay, we talked about that. Headaches associated with cold or nasal congestion. You put a few drops of your rosemary oil into your hot tub of hot water and inhale steam. Okay. For arthritic pain, you can warm your essential oil, rosemary essential oil, in with olive oil, and they say the microwave. I mean, if you're gonna, but they were talking about massaging the warm oil into the affected area for 5 minutes. Repeat 2 times daily until you get relief. Comfrey is also very good for that, but we're talking about rosemary right now. It says 1 to 2 cups of rosemary tea. Soak a washcloth in it and place the washcloth on the sore area, your head. If you have a headache, sore muscles, it's supposed to treat muscle soreness. So it combats anxiety and stress. We talked about that a little bit, but it's effective in clearing your mind and providing relief from stress. And a 2013 study published in Scientia Pharmaceutica. Researchers studied the effects of inhaling rosemary oil on subjective feelings and the activities of the nervous system. Rosemary can even work as a natural sleep aid to improve sleep quality and duration. Okay. Researchers also found that exposure to rosemary oil for about an hour helped the participants feel fresh and become alert and cheerful. Okay. So it fights stress and anxiety. A few drops of the essential oil in a diffuser or vaporizer. Place at a safe distance so that the calming vapors can help to induce a deep and peaceful slumber. So it can prevent high blood sugar. It's basically more of like a regulator of blood sugar, so it doesn't really it's more of a preventative. I did say it prevents high blood sugar. So rosemary extracts can lower fasting plasma glucose and cholesterol levels, helping manage type 2 diabetes and other metabolic conditions. In a 2014 study published in the Journal of Agricultural and Food Chemistry, it points out that the anti-diabetic properties of this herb, including rosemary and oregano, the herbs inhibit the enzyme bipeptidyl peptidase 4, which promotes the secretion of insulin. Okay? It can balance your hormones. So the carnosol in the rosemary decreases androgen receptor expression and also disrupts estrogen receptors in certain cells. It also lowers the release of DHT hormone, which helps improve prostate health and enhance hair growth. Balancing hormones. Great. It can protect against macular degeneration. I know quite a few people right now who are really worried about that in their lives. And I'm telling you, rosemary. Okay? So, this claim is supported by a study led by Dr. Stuart A. Lipton, PhD, and colleagues at Sanford Burnham Medical Research Institute and published in Investigative Ophthalmology and Visual Science. The study highlighted the ability of carnosic acid, a major component of rosemary, to significantly promote eye health. Maybe it'll make it so I don't have to wear these. I don't know. So the application of rosemary might even prove suitable for treating diseases affecting the outer retina, such as age-related macular degeneration. Add rosemary to your food as a spice or administer 20 to 30 drops of high-quality organic rosemary extract to your eyes 2 to 3 times a day. I would look into that a little bit more. I mean, I put castor oil in my eyes. Sometimes. I was doing it consistently for a while. Because castor oil rubbed in your eyes, like literally in your eyes. Basically you just kind of like put it all over here and then it just kind of seeps in. Because a little teeny bit blurry for a few seconds. but only for a few seconds. You just blink, 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 and it's all gone. But it gets rid of the floaters. If you have floaters in your eyes, it will slowly, everything's slow in herbal medicine. Nothing's fast. Because it gets to the root of why things are happening, not the specific symptom itself. Yes, we do talk about symptoms. We talk about all these different things, but it's not exclusive to those symptoms. So the studies, if you put rosemary tea, make the rosemary tea, and you can actually put that in your eyes too. Obviously, you have to make sure everything's, your water is filtered. You have to make sure, you could probably even, that would be a really good one for the distilled water, because there's nothing in it other than what you're putting in it. And so you'd have to make sure it is like really strained and just the liquid, no plant matter. But it's supposed to benefit your eyes to do that. Animal studies have found that adding rosemary extract to other oil and oral treatments can slow the progression of age-related eye diseases too. So you can take it orally as well. One study examined the additions of rosemary extract to common treatments like zinc oxide and other AREDs, antioxidant combinations, finding that it helps slow age-related macular degeneration. It's a common condition that affects vision. So, rosemary. It also says that the rosmarinic acid will delay the onset of cataracts, the gradual opaqueness of the eye, which leads to blindness, and reduces the severity of the cataracts. Keep in mind the most studies on rosemary and eye health have used concentrated extracts, making it difficult to determine what effects rosemary tea may have, as well as how much you would need to drink to reap the benefits. And we talked about it being a food preservative. Talks about because it prevents bacterial growth. We talked about how rosemary is rich in phytochemicals. While phytochemicals aren't essential for survival like vitamins and minerals are, they are nevertheless important for fighting disease and maintaining overall health. The phytochemicals in rosemary may help improve eye health, regulate liver function, and lower the risk of asthma. So it is a good source of, we talked about all the vitamins and minerals in it, like the niacin, thiamine, folate, riboflavin, ABC, pantothenic acid is in there too. I don't know what that one is offhand. Okay, so we've talked about dosage. We have talked about the history. We've talked about how to identify it. We've talked about how to grow it. We've talked about the benefits. Now we're going to talk about the drug interactions, risks, and side effects. When rosemary is consumed in usual culinary amounts, or as like just a regular food additive, it is generally safe. The FDA says that. Everything says that. If you're on a medication that doesn't allow you to have rosemary, guess what? The amount that you're going to have in rosemary chicken is not going to affect it. It has to be a medicinal dose in order for it to affect. If you have 1 cup of tea a day, guess what? That's really not going to affect any medications. Unless the doctor sits there and, don't you do that. Just have at it. It'll be okay. It'll be beneficial in a small amount as much as it would be a big amount. When consumed in high amounts, especially as an essential oil or an extract, it can potentially cause some side effects. I guess the side effects could be like an upset stomach, vomiting, spasms, changes in blood pressure. Although these reactions are super rare, and I got that information off the NIH website. Super rare to have any sort of a reaction. But if you're going to sit there and just sit there, like go out to your garden, your rosemary bush, and start like clipping it off and shoving it in your mouth, guess what? You're probably going to get an upset stomach. So I would not recommend that. So if you're allergic to other herbs in the mint family, then don't have rosemary. Just if you're allergic to it, don't have it. I know that there are like extremely good medicinal benefits to walnuts, but guess what? This girl can't have any. So I don't get to utilize those medicinal benefits, regardless of whether I like it or not, or how good it would be for me. I can't use it. So use your own discretion. Remember, I'm not the doctor here. I'm just giving you information that is extremely useful if used properly. It also has the potential to alter urination, blood clotting, and blood pressure levels, which means it could potentially interact with certain medications and should be avoided in these cases. Speak to your doctor before adding large amounts of rosemary or an essential oil to your diet if you're taking anticoagulants, blood thinners, ACE inhibitors for high blood pressure, diuretics, lithium for mental health disorders. If you're using those, don't take rosemary medicinally. There's other things you can take. There's other things, other plants that don't interact with those things that do the similar things that rosemary does. Remember that kind of stuff. It doesn't have to be just one. It can be a different one. So you can buy it in whole herb, in dried form. You can buy it as an extract. You can buy it as an oil. Yawn. It is so easy to make. It is literally often just not worth your money to buy it unless you really want to. If you're supporting a small business and you're like, I would rather just have it rather than have to wait the 6 to 8 weeks for a tincture or an oil or whatever, and you know a small business that sells these, then by all means support the small business. I'm all for supporting small businesses. You can tell me what yours is down below if you'd like. Just don't overdo it. Maybe go ahead and overdo it. I don't care. So you can find it in powdered extracts made from fresh or dried. Usually the rosemary essential oil is extracted from the flowering tips of the plant. Alcohol tinctures, teas, liquid extracts prepared from fresh or dried leaves. Each of these variants engenders different therapeutic effects. I can't read either. As the rosemary extracts, their effects and value differ depending on how the rosemary is extracted and what compounds are extracted. Fresh rosemary, however, ranks higher than its dried counterpart, owing the subtlety in its taste, which makes it more palatable. So basically they're saying that fresh rosemary tastes better than dried. I would actually agree with that one. I would very much, it says, so like how to store it, refrigerate the herb in a Ziploc bag. I would wrap it up in a paper towel and stick it in a Ziploc bag or a glass container because we're trying to get away from plastic. But I use plastic sometimes too. That's why I say I'm only 95%. But it makes it so it doesn't go bad for several weeks. Dried rosemary, on the other hand, should be kept ideally in an airtight container and stored in a cool, dark, and dry place, and it'll last for several months. That's usually when we find in the spice aisle. The woodsy, citrusy-like fragrance of rosemary essential oil is also found in beauty products and used in aromatherapy. We know that. Apart from its health and beauty uses, rosemary is popular in culinary herb. So people use it in soups, salads, sandwiches, dips, and is even used to make infused oils. Which we know all this stuff. And rosemary tea is a popular beverage. It literally is. It's not my favorite, but I will drink it. So if you're doing an infusion, basically a tea, you do 1 cup of boiling water to 1 to 2 teaspoons of dried herb. Cover for 10 to 15 minutes. Drink 3 times a day. That's if you're taking it medicinally. A tincture, that's like a 1 to 5 ratio. You would do 1 to 2 milliliters 3 times a day. As a dietary supplement in capsules, you can do 1,400 milligrams twice a day. Topically, use 3 to 6 drops of essential oil per 1 teaspoon of carrier. So there's jojoba. I have issues with grapeseed oil, but a lot of people use it. Coconut oil, avocado. Did I say olive oil? Castor oil, but castor oil is expensive, so that's why I tend towards the other ones. Castor oil is usually used specifically by itself, or if it's going to be used on my face. If you're going to use it in your bath, 3 to 6 drops of essential oils in a full bath or a foot bath. And I've never heard of this. There's such thing as hungry water, like hungry as in the country. It says pour 1 gallon of spirits, apple cider vinegar, witch hazel, or vodka, over 1.5 pounds of fresh rosemary in full bloom. Allow to infuse for 4 days. Strain out the herbs, then distill. That's hungry water. Okay. Rosemary water for a hair rinse. You would do 1 teaspoon of dried rosemary to every cup of water. So bring to a boil, and then you let it simmer for 15 minutes. Allow to sit for 30 minutes and strain out the herb. Rinse your hair with the rosemary water after shampooing to stimulate growth. So experts consider safe doses to be around 400 milligrams daily. All the other ones said differently. That's according to the NIH website. I gave you information from emedihealth.com, botanicalinstitute.org, webmd.com, healthline.com, organicfacts.net, and joyfulbelly.com. Those were the main ones that I pulled information from. But rosemary is a great plant. It definitely is a wildly medicinal plant. I didn't know all these things about this plant. I knew that it helped with hair growth. I knew that it helped with, memory. I knew that it helped with blood flow. I did not really know all the other things that it did. What did you know ahead of time? What did you learn today? Let me know down below. I'm very interested. All these deep dives I'm doing on these herbs have really helped me to know the plants better. I know the herbalism class that I'm taking talks about sitting with the plant and smelling it and listening to the plant. And I'm like, yes, that's a thing. But I like these scientific deep dives too. It helps me to say I like the little meme, and I have it posted in my office at work that says, keep talking, I'm diagnosing you. Yes, when people talk about anything that they're having troubles with, I'm always thinking, what herb could help them? And I usually suggest it to them because I'm that person. I try not to be, but most of the time I am. And I'm getting better at not being that person because most people don't want my opinions at all. So, but I still will in my head say, this herb would help this person, this herb would help that person. Find out what medications they're taking, and I find out, if they're a dry constitution, if they're a moist constitution, and if things would just help them. And I really have in mind. So what people could utilize, and there might be a better herb for it in the long run. But what I'm going to, if they take my suggestions and what I would give them would not hurt them by any means. That's the beautiful thing about herbs, is it's not going to hurt you. I mean, unless you have a specific allergy, it's not going to hurt you. And that's something you'd find out ahead of time. So you can experiment with these things, and you can find out what people need and how they can be helped. And I love it. I love helping people. It's really awesome when you see somebody say, oh my gosh, this worked so well. Can I have more? Like specifically today, I have to go and take the honey garlic, fermented honey garlic over to a friend because they said it really worked for them and they're getting rid of their cold symptoms. And they're going on a trip with me to Tennessee this week, so they want to feel good. And they asked for some more, so I'm going to go take it over to them in a little bit. It's a very good feeling when I see these herbs and these concoctions and formulations like really, really work for people. And it's something I didn't have to pay for. And guess what? I don't usually make them pay for it either. Now, if I put a lot of work into something, I will charge. But if you're my friend and you're local, I ain't charging. If I have to mail it, sorry. I do have a price. But it's a lot of fun when things work for people. And I have good reviews. It's very heartwarming that nature can heal us. Like we were meant to use it for, not make a huge lawn that you mow and you water and it's useless. Put some herbs in there. Put some plants in there. Feed yourself. Feed your family. It's good stuff. Thank you very much for sitting with me and going over rosemary with me. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed this and found it valuable. Let me know down below what maybe another herb that you're interested in. I believe I'm doing sage next week. And we can talk about whatever herbs you guys want to talk about. Give me suggestions. I am more than happy to dive deep into an herb that you want me to look at. And look at the other ones. I've got lemon balm, elderberry, I have echinacea, and then now we have rosemary. This is my week 4, episode 4. Thanks for coming. Remember, I'm not a doctor. Always do your research. I will share these links on the podcast below. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Thank you for learning with me.